sun was getting sleepy. You could tell because it turned the whole sky pink and gold, like someone had spilled a jar of warm honey right across the clouds. On the soft green grass of the old soccer field at the edge of town, a little boy named Theo was sitting right in the middle of the pitch, his knees pulled up to his chest, his chin resting on top of them. Theo was 5 years old, and he had been playing soccer all afternoon long. His red cleats were muddy at the toes. His golden hair was a little messy from running, and his eyes, his round, brown, lovely eyes, were beginning to feel very, very heavy. The other children had gone home already, called in by their mums and dads for dinner and baths and stories. But Theo had sat down, just for a moment, to watch the sun go to sleep. And now he was finding it a little hard to get back up again. The field smelled like fresh grass and warm earth. A soft breeze moved through the air, quiet as a whisper. Theo yawned a small yawn and blinked slowly at the golden sky. He noticed something then. Right along the edge of the field, near the wooden benches, there were crinkled chip bags and a forgotten juice carton lying in the grass. Someone had left their rubbish behind. Theo frowned, a tiny frown. He didn't like it when people left rubbish on the field he loved. He thought about picking it up himself, but his legs felt like they were made of warm pudding. Just as he was thinking this, he heard a sound. It was a soft, low sound, somewhere between a honk and a hum. Theo looked up. Waddling slowly around the corner of the field, ducking her head beneath the low branch of an old oak tree, was the most enormous duck Theo had ever seen. She was as tall as a garden shed. Her feathers were the color of warm caramel and soft cream, tipped at the edges with the faintest shimmer of green, like sunlight on a pond. Around her neck hung a large woven basket, swaying gently as she walked. Her eyes were kind, big, round, amber-colored, and peaceful, like two little autumn suns. She waddled with great purpose, her wide orange feet pressing gently into the soft grass. Theo's mouth fell open. He rubbed his eyes. He looked again. The duck was still there. The duck lowered her enormous head all the way down until her warm, amber eyes were level with Theo's. Her feathers smelled like pond reeds and something sweet, like biscuits left in the sun. She blinked once, slowly and kindly, the way ducks do. Then she spoke, in a voice low and gentle as a lullaby. "Good evening, little one," she said. "My name is Mabel. I collect the things people forget to take with them." Theo looked at the basket around her neck. Inside it, he could see chip bags, bottle caps, sweet wrappers, a straw, and even an old sock. "You pick up rubbish?" Theo said, wonderingly. Mabel nodded her great, feathery head. "Every evening, when the sun goes to rest, I walk through parks and fields and riverbanks," she said warmly. "I collect what has been left behind. The earth is happier when it is tidy." Theo looked out at the chip bags near the benches. "I wanted to pick those up," he said, "but I'm very tired." Mabel tilted her head. "Then we shall do it together," she said. Theo stood up slowly, his little legs wobbling just a touch. He walked alongside Mabel to the edge of the field, and one by one he picked up the chip bags and the juice carton and placed them carefully into Mabel's woven basket. She leaned down so that he could reach easily. It only took a moment. When the last piece of rubbish was safely in the basket, Theo looked at the field. It was perfectly clean again, the green grass glowing softly in the golden evening light. He felt a warm, proud feeling bloom in his chest, like a little fire made of kindness. "We did it," he said quietly. "Yes," said Mabel gently. "You see, even small helpers can do big things." Theo smiled. He looked up at Mabel, who was now reaching into the side of her basket with one wing. She drew out something small and bright. It was a pair of swimming goggles, round and clear, with a band the color of sea foam. They looked old, but somehow also magical, as though they had been waiting a very long time for just the right pair of eyes. "I found these by the river last week," said Mabel. "I believe they are meant for someone curious." She held them out to Theo with the tip of her wing, and he took them carefully with both hands. He turned them over. The glass of the lenses shimmered strangely, catching the light in colors Theo couldn't quite name: deep blue, silver, the green of very deep water. "What do they do?" he whispered. "Put them on," said Mabel, "and look down at the grass." Theo slipped the goggles over his eyes. He looked down at the grass beneath his feet and gasped, because the grass was gone. Instead, he was looking into the most beautiful underwater world he had ever imagined. There were soft corals swaying in invisible currents, pale lavender and rose pink. Silver fish, no bigger than his thumb, darted in and out of waving sea grasses. A little sea turtle drifted past, ancient and serene, one golden eye glancing up at him. The water was clear as glass and warm-looking, lit from somewhere far above by rays of softened sunlight. Tiny glowing creatures, like living stars, floated slowly by. The whole world was calm and quiet, the way the deepest part of sleep is calm and quiet. Theo watched, completely still, as a family of small fish swam slowly past in a gentle line: a mother fish, a father fish, and 3 tiny baby fish, all following in a peaceful row. One of the little fish yawned a tiny bubble yawn. Theo nearly laughed. He understood exactly how that little fish felt. Mabel's voice came gently, as though from very far away. "The fish are getting ready for sleep," she said softly. "The sea goes quiet at night, just like the field, just like you." Theo lifted the goggles from his eyes. The field returned, green and gold and beautiful in the evening light. He held the goggles against his chest for a moment, still feeling the memory of all that warm, quiet, underwater light. "Can I keep them?" he asked. "They chose you," said Mabel simply. Theo tucked the goggles gently under his arm. He realized, with a sort of floating feeling, that he was very, very tired now. Deeply, comfortably, warmly tired. He sat back down in the center of the field. The grass was soft beneath him. The sky had gone from gold to a deep, tender pink, and the first star was just appearing, a single silver point, quiet and still. Mabel settled down beside him, folding her enormous wings in close, like 2 great warm blankets. Theo leaned gently against her feathered side. She was incredibly soft and warm, like the world's largest, gentlest pillow. "Mabel?" Theo said, his voice going slow and soft. "Yes, little one? Do you get tired from picking everything up?" Mabel considered this for a moment. "Sometimes," she said peacefully. "But then I look at the clean grass and the clean riverbanks, and I feel full, the way a good meal makes you feel, or a good deed." Theo thought about the chip bags in the basket, and the clean field, and the little bubble-yawning fish. He thought about how it had only taken a moment, just him and Mabel together. And now the whole field was beautiful again. He thought about how small his hands were, and how they had still been just the right size for the job. "Small helpers," he murmured, remembering her words. "Can do big things," Mabel finished, her voice a low, warm hum. The breeze moved softly through the grass. The last orange light of the sun melted gently into the horizon, leaving behind only the kindest, most violet dusk. The star above them grew a little brighter. Theo's hand relaxed around the swimming goggles. His head sank a little deeper into Mabel's warm, feathery side. He could still see, behind his slowly closing eyelids, the underwater world, the swaying corals, the silver fish, the little sea turtle with the golden eye. Everything was quiet and warm and perfectly safe. Theo yawned, a long, deep, wonderful yawn that stretched all the way from his toes to the top of his messy golden hair. His eyes fluttered once, twice, and then, as the first fireflies began to blink softly at the edges of the field, little Theo smiled a tiny smile, let out one last soft breath, and drifted away into the most beautiful, peaceful sleep.